Om Sai Ram. My humble pranams at the lotus feet of our beloved Bhagwan, Sri Sathya Sai Baba. Salam everyone, and welcome to the Pre-World Conference 2021. My name is Sharvek Naidu. I am the National President of Fiji. I've been given the opportunity to give a report on the activities that Fiji has held in the last 12 to 16 months. So let me take you through what we have done in Fiji in this past year and a half. I've been given 10 minutes, so some of my slides we'll skip in the end if we have to, but we'll try and cover some of the key activities that Fiji has undertaken in the past 12 months. For those of you who don't know about Fiji, it's a small island out in the Pacific, two main islands, Lovu and Vanuatu. We have got 12 science centers, 9 science centers and 3 devotional groups, so 12 in total. Most of them out of the 12, 11 are in the main island, the Lovu, and 1 Mombasa in Vanuatu. We've got a science school, we've got an Institute of Human Values, which promotes EHV in primary schools and goes about teaching that curriculum. We're in the process of acquiring or taking over the Veseisei Health Center, and I'll cover that in a bit later on. As a membership, we've got about 200 members across Fiji in different centers, both active and non-active in some ways. Governance structure, same as Australia and New Zealand. We've got a central trust that looks after the properties of the organization, the central council, which is made up of the president, the vice president, the national wing coordinators, and the center presidents. And then separately, we've got an education board that looks after the institute and the Sathya Sai school. So let me start with the ladies wing. Ladies are our cornerstone of the organization, our homes, our family, our centers, and our organization. I mean, they're everywhere in all activities. So we'll cover some highlights that I think was important for Fiji. One of the key ones was the ladies were fortunate to participate in the global Ladies' Day celebration, which was held in Prashanti virtually. Fiji was fortunate in Zone 3 to be selected to do a video personal testimony. The science school students, they did a meke, and then we had a Kawali song that was done as well for the Ladies' Day. So this was a key event for the ladies in 2020. Ladies also had a retreat, a highlight ladies retreat that was held in October 2020. And again, at the moment, Fiji is in lockdown, but we were fortunate last year, things were open and we were able to do a lot of events and functions. So this is one of those events that happened, the ladies retreat. And the theme here was ladies were the beacon for the nation. So 2020 retreat, and there was excess of about 110 participants during this retreat. Some of those photos there are for beautiful ladies dressed in the lovely, colorful saris, going through workshops, discussions on empowerment, on organization skills, and other topics that were covered during the day. Education wing, let me cover that. As I've mentioned to you, we've got a science school, Sathya Sai Primary School. So this is from years 1 to years 8. It's also got a kindergarten. The school roll is about 130 odd students, including kindergarten as well, supported quite heavily by donors and Ministry of Education. So the ministry supports the teachers. We support other aspects of the school. So you can see some of those photos there of kids doing meditation, work for values, music classes, and other things that happen in the school. One of the important things about the science school is that it's quite heavily reliant on donor funding. ESA, some of the Australian counterparts would know about, is they have been very diligent in their funding to this school every month for the past number of years. So we use a lot of those fundings for the school, would be for free lunches, stationery, books, whiteboards, all those sorts of things that we are able to ensure that our kids get the best of knowledge and the best of facilities as being a model science school. Some photos of SSE classes. Generally, our SSE classes are done on Sundays at various centers across the islands. So between 9 and 11, 9 and 12 is the normal hours. Some of those photos here to show our lovely kids doing presentations during Baba's birthday, other functions at our various centers. So that's highlighting our education. Our spiritual wing, again, they've got a lot of activities, but we'll cover some of them. One of the key ones here is Seaside Subrabhatam. So that's a visual from our Suva center, where they were involved in Subrabhatam in the morning, early morning, out in the park. You can see Swami's photo on the left-hand side there with Brother Ashwin, our spiritual coordinator, leading through his harmonia and his bhajans, and a group photo on the right. So some simple stuff there. Aftarhood celebration day, again, we help go out, Shirdi Baba's birthday celebration, some photos over here. We've got a very large Shirdi temple in Suva. So this is where those celebration is, and this is part of the Turek Science Center that operates out of there during Thursdays and for SSE as well. We had a Sai retreat. We're very fortunate. Later last year, we had a Sai retreat. For the first time, this was in Reki. Those of you who know Fiji, it's been a while since a national event was conducted out in Reki. So this was conducted out in Reki, and we had about 86 participants who came about. And the topic there was One with Sai. So some of those photos there of group discussions, having presentations going on, that's coming through. Another shot of the hall where the retreat was held. We had a Sai conference as well, similar to this, our theme this year for the pre-world conference. We had a similar theme in December. And what you see there on the left-hand side, that is the Sai school. So we held our Sai conference at the Sai school. So that on the left-hand side is the classrooms split up and used as a whole. The Lautoka Science Center was a host. So you can see the ladies dressed in orange in our Sai centers. Again, some group discussions going on. The theme was divided. Unity is divinity, purity is enlightenment, and applying that in our day-to-day life was the three core themes that we then divided our groups and spoke about. So that's some shorts out of the Sai conference. Again, usual Akan Bhajans going around all centers. We were fortunate to be part of the global Akan Bhajan as well this year. So we had 3 or 4 singers given the opportunity through Zone 3 to participate in the global Akan Bhajan as well. Unity Bhajan continues in various central divisions and western divisions. This year we were lucky to start with one, but with COVID, we haven't had any after that, but it's a usual. Global Gayatri Chanting, again, very fortunate that Fiji have been given opportunity to participate from Zone 3, and we have had 4 to 5 members participating in this every chanting. So fortunate to be given that opportunity, and thanks to Zone 3 for giving us that opportunity. And we're looking forward to more of these Gayatri chantings. Interfaith Search, the organization is part of Interfaith. We are a registered body with this organization. We go out and share our learnings, our philosophy, our teachings, and that gets exchanged between all faiths. That's one of the Easter celebrations that gets attended. And then this is one of the sessions where the meetings from all various faiths are there, NGOs, and they select and they talk about their mandate, what they do, how we can help each other, and how do we take the message of our own faiths into the community by far. So that's something that we are quite strongly connected with, led by the young adults as well. The service wing, a big part of the organization. So let me just touch on the Lovu Seaside Community Project. You would recall that during Baba's 95th birthday, there was a 95 community project that was done globally. And for Fiji, we chose the Lovu Seaside as a community to do our projects. Lovu is based in Lautoka. It's a squatter settlement with low socioeconomic society. So there was a number of projects that we did together with the young adults, both in terms of recycling. On the left-hand side, you'll see we got a container home done for a family that were pretty much living in a shack. On the right-hand side, you'll see SSE classes have started in this community, led by one of the ladies there. Just met on the floor, and off we go with SSE classes. On the bottom right, we were also able to deliver some sewing machines to the ladies of the community, teach them sewing skills so they're able to self-learn and teach and get their livelihoods to some extent. So these are some of the community outreach projects that were carried out as part of our service. Moving on with the community engagement, There's a number of these that gets done in the organization, whether it's at Diwali, at Christmas, Easter, at various festivals. And these two photos are the youth, young adults led at the School of Blind, at the Hart Home, aged care facility, orphanage. So a lot of these continues to happen throughout Fiji, throughout events and functions that get carried away. We were also fortunate to get our work for values done and a work for environment. So the work for environment on the left-hand side, you'll see that was done in Lautoka City. And then the right-hand side is the work for values that was done late in 2019. So again, taking the message of Swami out there, the mission and what we need to do from a community values perspective was carried out for community engagement. Okay. The next couple of slides is quite important, particularly for the Australian and New Zealand counterparts, because this was only made possible through the donations that were given through you towards Fiji. So you would recall in December last year, TC Yasa struck Fiji. So this devastation happened in Levu, so the north of Fiji, the island on the north. So Lambasa, that whole area, that whole Levu was affected very, very significantly. Some photos there to give you some perspective. As soon as the flights could go from Fiji, we had a team of people that went out in phase 1 to just go out and give immediate relief with small packages of food and non-perishable items to support. And we gave about 275 packs through this. And again, like I mentioned, the donations had come from Australia and New Zealand, worth about 50,000 coming through. And we've used that throughout this project on a number of phases, which I'll talk to you. So phase 1 was that. Phase 2, there was myself, Uncle Rajat, Dr. Naren Reddy, and Sanjay Krishna, the National Service Wing Coordinator. We went out in the next phase to go and make an assessment and to see what were some of the long-term projects that we could do and what we could help various communities and societies over there. So we went and when we looked at a couple of things. The phase 3 side of this project was together with Ministry of Education. There was a number of maybe 15 to 20 schools, which was very hard hit, totally devastated. And the society and the communities were not able to afford school gear, basically, whether it's uniforms or school packs or something. So what the government rolled out was a back to school initiative. And NGOs like the same organizations volunteered, and we took up 3 schools. So we provided about 440 school packs. So you can see on the bottom right-hand side, those were the packs that were done and delivered to those kids. And those packs have got, books, stationery, water bottle, those sorts of things. And on the top, you see some photos. The ladies and gents helping out are members of the Lambasa Sai Center. So at that stage, our Lambasa Sai Center was very, very active and full geared to help and support this initiative. So thank you to them as well. So that's phase 3. Phase 4, what we then did during our visit was that we went and identified a couple of schools where the community was very devastated, because the Lambasa community operates on a very labor-intensive. They're basically laborers in the community working on farms, sugarcane, and other areas. So that society got really damaged. Community farms got damaged, so there was no work and labor. So what we thought after doing our proper due diligence and governance around helping these schools was that, okay, we will provide them with meals. So we spoke to management and we provided them ingredients so that between the management and the parents, they could help each other prepare the foods and deliver it to the kids and serve the kids. So on the left-hand side, you can see those are the parents of the kids. They come to school, prepare the lunch, and then serve all the kids. So you can see all the kids smiling, having their lunch, simple lunch that feeds them. Again, these were 2 to 3 days a week that we provided them. So overall, we were able to provide 11,000 meals over term 1. And this is an initiative that we will continue to do in term 2 once school resumes in Fiji. And I'll show you some photos. These are some of the photos of the schools that we have chosen. These are just immediately after the cyclone. So probably 2 weeks in when we had gone and we had taken these photos of the 3 schools that we were supporting. So yes, total devastation, as you can see. That's the other school with 140 kids. And this is the 3rd school with about 70 kids. So, 440, 420 odd kids that we have been helping so far. So that was phase 4. 6 weeks later, another cyclone hit Fiji again, Tiziana. And again, Lambasa Science Center was there to go and assist immediately. We were able to provide 100 packs to the families. Some of those families there that you can see were part of the devastation just 6 weeks ago. So they lost everything during the cyclone. 6 weeks later, flooding came and took whatever they could. So that's Brother Ponsami from the Lambasa Science Center in the photo in the middle. We did something similar in Viti Levu as well, because the impact was on Viti Levu as well. So the Mahasai Center also dished out about 50 packs through that process as well. Blood drives continue to be a focus in Fiji. We have been fortunate that we have been able to collect probably 200 to 250 pints of blood last year. A few sessions were held this year as well. It's lockdown in Fiji, so once that gets lifted, we will resume that. But this is a core part that's led by Brother Karunesh and his team during such events. So Veseisei Sai Health Center, I just want to spend a minute on this. Veseisei Sai Health Center has been run by Dr. Rajat, Professor Rajat and Auntie Swaran for the past 10 years. We are in the process of doing a handover. The health center has been donated or given to the Sai organization now through the trustees of Dr. Rajat and Auntie Swaran, and we are in the process of taking over that. You notice this is our Lotoka Science Center who are helping out during the lockdown. So Lotoka Hospital got locked down, for those of you who may not know, in Fiji. That serves a huge part of the western side. So the Veseisei Sai Health Center was turned into a makeshift maternity ward. And whilst that happened, a lockdown happened. So basically all the nurses, the families, the doctors, the patients were all quarantined and still are for 14 days. So the Lotoka Science Center took turns providing them lunch. We gave them some baby packs of baby wipes and all that kind of stuff during the delivery of the babies. And also it was during Mother's Day, so the families never got to see the parents and families. So this is just some shots over there. So last but not least, this is the recognition and acknowledgement that we have for our 3 senior members in the organization. So we had Dr. Saras, Professor Naren Reddy, and Mrs. Swami, who were given this Medal of Honor by the President of Fiji. So this was done in appreciation for the community work that they have been doing for so many years via the organization and in the personal capacity. So we'd like to acknowledge them and also appreciate them in this particular forum. Thank you to them. Last but not the least, I would like to take this opportunity to thank Australia and New Zealand, all our brothers and sisters out there, for being such great big brothers and sisters to us, helping Fiji out every single time in all ways that you can, whether it's through funding, the help you give, the support you give, the opportunities you give to Fiji. And for this function, this pre-World Conference, such events are not common for Fiji. So to be given this opportunity to participate in it, thank you to the organization. And Om Jai Sara.